This is Space Exploration News, where we bring you the latest and greatest from the final frontier without the hype. And today we're going to be covering a few things. We're going to be talking about the new map that was released by the China, believe it's called Tianwen 1 mission. So they have a whole map of Mars. We're going to go over that in a minute. We're also going to talk about nuclear rocket research that's being done by the European Space Agency. We're also going to talk about Rocket Lab and the type of rockets that they have. And finally, we're going to talk about the Artemis 3 mission and some information that we're learning about the location where they're actually going to be landing. So this is for Artemis 3, when there will actually be landing humans on the moon again. So that is very cool. You might have noticed that there wasn't a show last week, but I have a good excuse and a very cool announcement. Well, for one, I was traveling, but the other reason is I've been working on the Space Exploration News theme song. So I want to share that with you. Let's see if this works. I'm also using a new screencasting software, which I'm excited about because as you might have known, last week I had some technical issues. But anyways, without further ado, let me show you what I've been working on as far as the theme song. So I made it with Ableton Live, but I'm tinkering with it here, doing some mastering here in Reason. So I'm using this Audiomatic effects processor, and we can play around with it a little bit. I want to see what you guys think, what y'all think. So let me start it from the top here. Yeah, I just want to show you real quick. Also, there's these different sounds, so you can try to make it sound like vinyl. It adds some like crackly noises, which you might be able to hear now. There's also this circuit one. It's pretty cool if you try that. Might be a little too noisy though. So anyways, I'll keep tinkering with it. Let me know what you think. If you happen to know Reason and want to run it by some different sounds, you can try it. So far, I like the spread one the most. The circuit one is interesting, but I would have to make it less abrasive, obviously. But that's a little bit about the theme song. Pretty excited about that. Hopefully soon I can also create a vignette with like an intro title. So the idea is I'll have my intro, say hello to you, and then bada boom, we have a vignette of the show, and then we go on with the show. But let's keep on moving on. So here's our script for the week or 2 weeks. Whoops, sorry folks. Yeah, so China's Tianwen-1 orbiter produced a global map of Mars. The map is the first of its kind and was created using data collected by the orbiter's high-resolution camera. The map shows the topography and geology of Mars in detail. The orbiter has been orbiting Mars since February 2021 and has already sent back a wealth of data. So this was released, let me find the article here. So this was released in China's National Space Day on April 24th. So it is a few days ago, but the article here is recent. Let me show you the map. I can make this bigger and we can look at the map. Look at that, folks. That is Mars. Now, if only you could zoom in all the way in. That's what I want. Soon enough. Because there's Google Earth. Where's Google Mars? Know what I'm saying? Okay, well, very cool. there was a documentary I watched recently that goes into the different sites in Mars. It was really good. I'll add that to the YouTube description. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it went off, talked about the different craters and just so beautiful imagery. But it's really cool to see China producing this global map of Mars. Thank you so much, the team there. Now let's move on to Europe. So Europe, they're working on a nuclear rocket for deep space exploration. And from what I'm seeing, the advantage could be that, with a nuclear rocket, you could get to Mars instead of 7 months. You could get there in 3 months if that was created. But they're just way off actually getting to something here. They're just doing the research. But yeah, as you see, it can be more efficient than chemical propulsion. And they also think that they can go beyond our solar system with it. Of course, if you can go twice as fast. Still, Alpha Centauri is a ways to go, so I don't think that's gonna make the difference. I guess you could send a probe there and go check it in a few hundred years or something. See, but not in our lifetime, anyways. So let's keep on moving on. Rocket Lab, they had two NASA satellite launches, and this is more for like weather and hurricane technology there. But it was cool to learn about Rocket Labs a little bit. They're based in New Zealand and the US. And what they provide is smaller payload type rockets. I'm also trying to learn more about these companies. If you'll indulge me, I've been going to this site called Guru Focus and really trying to learn. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take my advice for any finances. If you have advice for my finances, I'm open to that. But anyways, trying to learn about this company, and also kind of trying to learn about this. I love graphs and stats and numbers like that. So trying to learn a little bit about Rocket Labs, like their financial strength. Says their financial strength is good, but the profitability is not there yet at all. But it would be interesting to see like what is the dig into a little bit more, right? Is there promise of new contracts? Obviously they just got that new contract with NASA, sent those 2 satellites, so this is definitely a company to watch. It just seems like an interesting kind of mix of like solid financial backing and cash to debt, like, so they have cash to spend, but they're not profitable yet. So that's something to watch. I want to start bringing in some more of this content where we kind of dig into these companies and see like what's the reality on the ground. Again, our show is about news without the hype, so we're trying to get into the reality of what's actually going on with these companies. All right, so finally, let's look at our last piece here for the show, which is the Artemis 3 landing site. And this was really interesting. I did a little bit of research. I was chatting with Bing about it, which was really helpful. Like learning about why they're choosing the South Pole. Apparently, they want to land near the South Pole, and partly it has to do with being able to set solar panels and be able to gather energy, because it's a spot that's always light, but they'll be able to be also closer to dark spots. So that's my understanding of why they're choosing the South Pole. I think there was also possibility of there being water there. Anyways, there's a multitude of reasons why they're choosing to explore the South Pole there. And yeah, so here's some imagery there of what that looks like. Let me see. Oh. Yeah, so there you go. Ooh, cool. Interesting. Oh, yeah, there was also some interesting things about how they were able to take the pictures because some of the areas are dark all the time, but there's such a thing called earth shine. So there's sunshine, there's moonshine, and there's also earth shine. Light reflects off the earth and illuminates certain areas of the moon, and thus you can take pictures of those areas, even though the sun doesn't shine there directly. And then here they also discussed reflection from other peaks in the moon reflect light, and if you catch it at the right angle, you can, and at the right moment, you can capture some pictures like that as well. So anyway, so that's it for our show today. I am traveling, so that's part of why I had to consolidate two shows into one. But I'm also having some fun with the synthesizer and creating the theme song for the show. So let me know what you think. Again, I'm trying to create value for you and try to tend this community. And I want to give a shout out again to my friend Ben Goldstein for always bringing in new information and helping me out. So my love out to you, Ben, and everyone else that tunes in. I'll see you next week. All right, cheers.